People love spending their time in Warung Upnormal, whether it's to do their work, to enjoy the dishes, or simply to hang out with friends.
Nggak boleh.
But that was all before the coronavirus strikes the nation. Warung Upnormal is a well-known brand of cafeteria in which consumers are provided with various choices of modern Indomie menus as its specialty and brand identity. It is also known for its facilities that attract consumers to spend a longer period of time doing works, hanging out, or dining in the cafeteria. The mentioned facilities vary from up to 100 electric plugs, public Wi-Fi, television, music speaker, until games. Warung Upnormal was established in 2014 and was able to massively outgrow the business until now. However, its journey has to face a big challenge once the COVID-19 appeared in December 2019. Starting in Wuhan, China at the end of 2019 and continuing until the year 2020, the COVID-19 outbreak has been announced as a worldwide pandemic by the World Health Organization, the specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for international public health. The vast and hasty transmission of the coronavirus has required the Indonesian government to obligate its citizens to undergo quarantine and consequently shift to the new normal. Besides widely impacting many aspects of the citizens' life such as health, social, education, and politics, this has resulted to the implementation of new policies related to the practice of life and businesses in Indonesia. The policies could be found on the Regulation of Minister of Health No. 9 of 2020 on guidelines to large-scale social restrictions in accelerating COVID-19 mitigation, which act as a response of the government to the COVID-19 pandemic. Warung Upnormal is a cafeteria closely related to crowds and mass where people tend to conduct high level of social interactions and activities, becomes one of the impacted businesses that needs to be able to overcome and adapt with the changes to survive through the challenges that arise during the pandemic. It surely is a big challenge for Warung Upnormal, considering that they have to adjust the business activities into what is allowed and what is prohibited by the government, especially in terms of limiting humans' interactions as well as the business practices. Along with that, McKinsey has reported that there is a significant decrease in consumers' preference on dine-in restaurant. In contrast, consumers' interest in non-prepared food and online shopping is highly increasing. This can be seen as a threat as well as an opportunity for the food business and retailers in Indonesia, since they have to take quick initiatives and create new business strategies to survive during the pandemic. In response to the current regulations and situations in the market, Warung Upnormal has to adapt quickly, starting from arranging new regulations and rules for its business activities and interactions between its workers and consumers, until reviewing its business strategies to keep maintaining its income and business growth. To this day, Warung Upnormal has done several efforts in ensuring its survival during the pandemic. These attempts could be classified into two categories, which consist of its adaptation regarding the internal and external control of the business. For the internal control, the Manager Media Relations CRP Group had stated to medias that they had implemented new regulations in the company that align with the social restrictions regulation by the government, such as the application of new SOPs for the workers to do body temperature checking before getting into the working areas, the allocation of hand sanitizers in working areas, and routine vitamin distribution for workers. The employees are also obligated to wear face masks and hand gloves during work to prevent physical contact and physical touch to the orders of consumers. While for its external control, similar to the workers, they require all the suppliers and consumers to check the body temperature and sanitize their hands before getting inside the cafe areas. They are also required to do health protocols such as using face masks and keeping distance between seats. Warung Upnormal regularly spray disinfectant liquid to every corners and furnitures in the cafe areas. They even limit the number of dine-in customers to only 30% of the normal capacity, while the rest will have to use waiting list system. These practices indeed have resulted into decreased revenues and income. However, considering that the customers' interest of online shopping has significantly increased during the pandemic, there is a big opportunity aside for the business to expand its activities into online forms and take it as their chance to enlarge the business. Warung Upnormal has concentrated in extending its business to the online platforms. Comparing to the pre-pandemic period, they now have encouraged the customers to conduct all of the transactions through digital payment instead of cash. By using Upnormal apps, they can do the payment using GoPay, OVO, Link Aja, or Dana. Besides, they have also developed the features in Upnormal apps. For instance, during this pandemic, they created a feature called Sempurnakan in Traktir Nasi Box program to support medical personnel of COVID-19. And they consistently give the newest updates about promotions and branches location of Warung Upnormal in the app. Not only through their own application, they also collaborate with online food delivery services like Grab and Gojek to fulfill their consumers' demand and to attract them by giving unique codes for the discounts. As a result, these strategies have effectively helped Warung Upnormal to survive during the pandemic, despite having to limit the offline business activities. According to those, it can be concluded that the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted Warung Upnormal in terms of its business activities, hence requiring them to adapt quickly and modify their business practices as well as the regulations. Yet, Warung Upnormal has been able to successfully maintain its business during the pandemic by undergoing several changes and adopting various business strategies, such as through their internal control of the business and external control or relationship with their partners and customers, and through optimizing the practice of online applications and online business strategies. And to sustain the business during the pandemic and after pandemic in the future, there are some recommendations for Warung Upnormal to do, which are for them to regularly evaluate their business strategies, adjust the strategies to the current regulations enforced by the government, and to innovate and continuously conduct product development and product innovations by keeping up with the potential trend and customers' interest.